Okay, I put a few notes here, so hopefully you can look at them. I'll speak about them quickly, and then we'll get started. If you notice, I wrote over here, note B is not 0, so we have to factor, because B is not 0 here, here, and here. The question is, which equations, plural, so there's more than one, have roots that are equivalent to the x-intercepts of the graph shown? Roots and x-intercepts mean the same thing. The solutions, the x-intercepts and solutions and roots are all the same thing. What are the solutions of this graph? Solutions, or where the graph crosses the x-axis. Look at that graph really quickly. See if you can tell where the graph crosses the x-axis. Hopefully you said -1 and +4. The solutions to this are -1 and +4. So what I'm looking for is which of those, plural, A, B, C, D, or E, have these same solutions. That's what I'm looking for. So when I write yes or no, that's why I write yes or no, because if I write yes, that means they have these same solutions. If I write no, then they do not. Okay, so I want to do the ones that are the quickest first. C's ready. C already has the zero product property done. If you look, you've got x minus 1 times x plus 4. You already have your trinomial factored, so I can go ahead and do the zero product property, set each factor equal to 0, and solve. So I get 1 and -4. Did I write -1? I think I did. -1 and -4. Is that the same thing as this? No. So C is not one of the answers. Okay, the next one that I think is easy to do is letter D, because it already has it to where I can subtract 4 and take the square root of both sides. Hopefully you'll start to recognize those. Take the square root of both sides. X minus 1 will equal plus or minus, if you will, type in your calculator the square root of -4. See what answer you get. Hopefully it gives you some sort of error, which means this can't happen. This is automatically a no. Okay, now let's look at A, B, and E. Which of those is the easiest to factor, do you think? Decide, if you will. A, B, or E. Which is the easiest to factor? I think B is the easiest, so I'm going to do that one first. I'm going to subtract 4, because it has to equal 0. X squared minus 3x minus 4 equals 0. A is 1, B is -3, C is -4. I need factors of A times C that will give me a sum of B. -4 times 1 is what works. So I'm going to put x minus 4 and x plus 1 equals 0. I'm going to do the zero product property. I'm going to set each factor equal to 0 and solve. So I get 4 here, and I get -1. Is that a yes or a no? Did I get -1 and 4? Yes, I did. So that's a yes. Yes for that one. So one yes so far. Okay, which one's easier, A or E? Well, A is already equal to 0. I have a common factor, so I'm going to divide each of these by -2. Okay. A is 1, B is 5, C is 4, A times C, sum of B. 1 times 4 gives me 5. Bring over my greatest common factor, x plus 1, x plus 4. I do expect to see all this work, so please, please, please don't use resources that just give you answers and not this work. So please make sure you do this way, this process. Now, I actually have 3 factors this time. I have -2, x plus 1, and x plus 4. So I'm going to set all 3 of those factors equal to 0. I'm going to subtract 1, subtract 4. So I got -1 and -4. Are these answers -1 and -4? No. So A's not the answer. Okay, let's go down to E. I need to make it equal 0, so I'm going to subtract 18x and subtract 24. 6x squared minus 18x minus 24 equals 0. I'm going to take out the greatest common factor of 6. The good thing about this problem, or doing videos this way, is if you did not understand the first time, you can rewind and listen again. But I hope that you really are listening. I notice a lot of students will watch a video, but they do not actually listen to the audio. I usually give a lot of hints that I don't actually write down. Okay, so I'm going to factor this. A is 1, B is -3, C is -4. Factors of A times C, sum of B, -4 times 1. Bring down my greatest common factor. Put my middle variable, -4 plus 1. I want to point out really quickly that there's an equal sign here. An equal sign. If you look back when we were just learning to factor, we did not do this whole process. We did not do the zero product property. Do not insert an equal 0 if your directions only say factor. You do this when your directions say to solve. Okay, so now I'm going to do the zero product property. I'm going to set each factor equal to 0 and solve. And I was just thinking, I don't know if I said that above. I guess I just do it and I don't even think. 6 can never equal 0. If you don't have a variable, you throw out that problem. If you had 6x, that would work. But if there's no variable in your problem, then it's not possible. Add 4, subtract 1, so I get x equals +4, and I get x equals -1. Is that what this says over here? -1, +4. That's a yes. So my 2 answers were B and E were the ones that worked. That's a great SAT type question. Okay, going on to the last one. Use the formula h of t equals -16t squared plus h sub 0. This means your initial height, the beginning. You might want to write that down. H sub 0 means the initial or the beginning. It says a skydiver drops out of an airplane that is flying at an altitude of 4,624 feet. So this skydiver, he or she, is going to jump out of the airplane at this height. So that's the beginning of where they're at. So all I'm doing is writing an equation and substituting in for this. So that's what I'm going to do now. H equals, I have discovered that 16 is like the force of gravity. And you'll see that regularly in your problem. And the reason why it's -16 is if, and forgive my drawing, if you have an airplane and someone jumps out, there's a little guy, he jumps out, then the way he falls happens in like a parabolic shape. So that's why you have that quadratic. Now plus h sub 0, so plus 4,624. That is the answer to letter A. Now letter B, this is a really funny question. Is it possible for the skydiver to wait 18 seconds before pulling the parachute cord? Let me ask you a question. Does 18 seconds stand for the height or for the time? So hopefully you think time. I'm going to pause my video and I'm going to substitute 18 in for T. Hopefully you'll do the same thing. We'll come back and we'll decide if the answer to this is yes or no. And I noticed a typo here. Is it possible for the skydiver to wait? Because there's a question at the end. So is it possible? Okay, so hopefully we got the same answer. I got that the height is going to be negative 560 feet. Okay, so what do you think? Can the skydiver wait 18 seconds to jump from the plane? Because this will be his height after that, after 18 seconds, negative 560 feet. What do you think? Yes or no? The answer is no. And why? Because we got a negative height. Because negative 540 feet means below the Earth's surface, which means the skydiver would not survive. Okay, hope you understood. Have a great day.